Hello everybody and welcome back to Rocket League Pros. My name is Goody. I'll be hanging out with you today. What we do here is break down the professional Rocket League players' competitive replays. As you can see today, we are watching from the point of view of AcroniK as he's with his teammate Oski. Both of these guys fresh off the European Regional. As next go, it's going to find a bump onto Oski in the blue side. He's going to jump ahead quickly here, 17 seconds into the match. But yeah, Team Liquid of AcroniK and Oski, fresh off the European Regional, and they got upset by a little bit of a Cinderella team in Hogan mode. That was the kind of the big story of the week, was Hogan mode taking on all these big teams, losing in the upper bracket, but making their way through the lower bracket, even putting Team Vitality on their heels, but eventually falling in the lower bracket finals as Oski tries to find the equalizer goal. Now, if you're Team Liquid, you're looking at that regional and you're asking, what can you do better, right? So you go to the bottom of the bracket, and I think Oski's going to run away with a goal here and equalize it, and it is. Next go almost got back to that one. But if you're Team Liquid, you're looking at your performance of this European regional, and you're asking yourself, what can we do to clinch our spot in Worlds, and how do we improve from here? What do we need to work on? Because losing to Hogan mode, wasn't really what they were looking for. I will give it to Hogan mode. They did have a absolutely beautiful performance as Oski finds the angle there to put the orange side up, 2-1. Hogan mode had a beautiful performance in that regional, being kind of a last-second team to be put together. But you know, if you're anything like me, you like a good upset, and I think a lot of people are rooting for Hogan mode. There's a breezy off the ceiling, scored by AcroniK. Next go couldn't find that save, and now it's 2-1. Beautiful ceiling reset. I think a lot of Rocket League players would like to perfect that mechanic as they look for a pinch now. Is AcroniK going to go up and try to read this? Straight down, tough read, finds a flip reset, but it is going to be saved away from Next Go. As for Next Go and Youngstar, and I think that was an own goal from Next Go on the other side of the map there. As for these two, not a ton of information on them. They are both German, and they are on a team called the Division. But they compete in some smaller matches, smaller tournaments, as Youngstar is going to find a goal there, and they're only down 2. But yeah, they just had formed Team Division this year, so maybe looking to make their way through some qualifiers next season. As for now, these guys kind of keeping it under the radar. AcroniK flip reset, looking for a double, and he's saved away by Youngstar. And you know, Team Liquid has a bright future for sure, as Oski's only 16, kind of a bit of a prodigy. And like I've been saying, it seems like the younger these guys are, the better they get. And as for Rocket League, Youngstar finds a flip reset over AcroniK in the meantime. As for Rocket League, I mean, I don't know what it is. I'd like to see some kind of, maybe some research or something, or like some kind of data that talks about the success of older Rocket League players. And the only successful old Rocket League player that I can think of, he wasn't even that old, was Turbo Pulsa. You know, Turbo being the most winningest Rocket League player of all time. And then you go back and you look at NRG, and you still see Squishy and Justin, and those guys are just pioneers of the Rocket League competitive scene, and they're still playing every day. Oski double flip reset on the back wall. Next go saved away. AcroniK trying to keep the pressure up. And he's going to find the angle there, and Youngstar can't get back to it as he wall dashes in style with a 2-goal lead here. But as for AcroniK, 17-year-old Portuguese native playing in the European region, vital part of this Team Liquid squad with Oski. Next guy having trouble on that goal line there. Had that own goal earlier. Quick reset from AcroniK. finds a pass to Oski, fakes both. Can he turn it around fast enough? And yes, he can. It's a 3-goal lead for the Liquid boys. Trying to get their mechanics rolling, trying to get their communication going. Off the ceiling, Oski. What a setup play from Liquid. Like I was just saying, communication. Oski called out that he was on the ceiling, wanted the pass from AcroniK, and he got it. Used the flip, put it onto the ground and bounce it in past the defenders. And maybe Oski trying to return the favor for a pass over to AcroniK. It's just like clockwork for these guys. They're not even sweating. It's not hard for them. As for me, I'm sweating to stay alive in Champ 3 lobbies. So, if anybody wants to help me with that or give me some pointers, that'd be awesome. In the meantime, Oski's looking for a double, and he's gonna saved away by Youngstar. I thought that was in for sure. His time winds down, 30 seconds remaining. Next go. Just playing around now, wasting time. AcroniK tried to maybe find a psycho or a redirect there as Oski is gonna dribble it across the field, and as time winds down, it looks like it's gonna be a 7-3 victory for Team Liquid as we roll in to our next match. And it's still, ball's still up, rule 1 in play, and that'll do it for this one. As we roll into the next match, as we roll into the second match here, it is another 2v2 matchup, but this time we have AcroniK teamed up with Kashkami. Maybe a little bit of bad blood between these European players, fresh off the European regional. As you know, AcroniK, Team Liquid, Kashkami part of Team Moist, and in the upper bracket at least, fake comes out from AcroniK. A good fake, good pass from Kashkami. Maybe they aren't beefing, but Team Liquid did send Moist down to the lower bracket in the upper quarterfinals, where Moist would go on to lose to Carmen Corp. And eventually, as we were talking about earlier, Team Liquid would go down and lose to the Cinderella story in Hogan mode. So, neither very successful in the regional as a mistake from the orange side comes out. And the two pros starting to pile it on here early. But yeah, not a ton of success for these two. They're really, you know, they have their points as far as nationals go, or as far as the RLCS goes. But I meant to say worlds, not nationals. I'm thinking CRL. Excuse me. So my mind is collegiately oriented right now, just because the collegiate season came to a close recently. As the demos come out, everybody knows I love a good demo. Be a redirect coming out, saved away from Max. But as these two pros look to prepare for their next event, you know, I wonder what the feelings are like for both sides. Do they both accept that, you know, they didn't make it too far, didn't get many points, or is Kashkami finding a double touch in the meantime? Is Kashkami a little salty that Liquid swept him in the upper bracket? Doesn't seem to be affecting him here though, as he does have 2 goals. Sorry, 1 goal. AcroniK has 2 goals. I'm having trouble reading today, ladies and gentlemen. Please excuse me for that. Inexperienced caster. That's what we're blaming. Y'all can blame me in the comments for that too. I promise. Like, I just try to have fun with you guys. Try to provide a little bit of insight on the RLCS scene, a little bit of insight on what's currently happening in the match. This a little tougher to do these 2v2 matches as they do run a little bit slower than the 3s. Tried to find a redirect. AcroniK just playing faster than the defender. Didn't need the boost. And now he's got the hat trick with 2:38 remaining here. And I will mention that Max and 420 Chaser Merchant, or Chase Merchant, unless I'm mistaken,
I don't know if they're part of the pro scene. They might be part of some show matches or some smaller organizations, but they don't seem to have the experience that Kashkami and AcroniK do. So as far as that goes, they are outmatched. However, they are up in this high rank anyway, so they're doing better than most of us. So shout out to them for sticking around as Max tries to find a flip reset off the back wall. Getting bumped around, AcroniK Kashkami tried to recover from the bump. Couldn't save it away. As the amateurs cut into the 4-1 deficit now. See, there's a little bit, not of miscommunication, but maybe playing a little hardball, trying to go for the same boost. Saying, I'm the better pro. Maybe. Or they're just there, you know, trying to gain MMR and vibe and not start any beef. Personally, Kashkami's teammate in Rise, you know, I love seeing what he says on Twitter. He doesn't start beef, but the way that he talks on Twitter about, you know, he was hyping up Hogan mode because, obviously, as I've said, who doesn't love a Cinderella story in Hogan mode? But Rise, one of my favorite players from Moist Esports, as the orange side cuts it to 2 now, with a minute remaining. Do they have what it takes to overcome these 2 young pros from Europe? Now, I say young. Kashkami is younger than me, but he is only 21. One of the older players in the RLCS. Still not old, though, by any means. AcroniK keeping possession, looking for a redirect. Pass to Kashkami off the backboard. Trying to possess now, waste time. As they say in FIFA, you're trying to park the bus. Demo comes out in midair from the orange side. Where's the ball? In the net. A little bit of a delayed respawn camera there for us, but the orange side in Max and 420 Chase Merchant are only down 1 against 2 European pros. Win or lose here, you got to be proud with your performance. As my dog jumps through this hoop and makes all the noise in the world. If you heard that, that's my dog. Her name is Bubbles. So as time winds down here, Orange looking for a miracle. AcroniK maybe looking to take one home with a Doomsy, and he does. And he insta-leaves, as I will. My name has been Goody. Thank you for watching. This has been our Rocket League Pros. Make sure to like and subscribe. We'll see you next time.